What's going on, Conscious Crew? It is your favorite commentator, your favorite breakdown commentator, CTV. Welcome to another riveting episode of the Consciouztv platform. Hope you guys are having a wonderful Wednesday, honey. This is the second live stream today. We went live earlier to speak about Jason Lee, aka Hollywood Unlocked Girl. He is on a rampage, completely triggered, honey, and he is giving Miss Neo and Miss Gloria and Miss T.K. Kirkland that everlasting work, child, as it relates to Neo's recent comments on transgender parenting, honey, okay? And, baby, they got it going on. Jason also premiered his interview with the T.S. Matheson, honey, which I did get a chance to watch. It was a really good interview. And shout out to T.S. Madison and both to Jason Lee and to T.S. Madison, who are really just kind of pioneers in and of themselves. You guys know that T.S. Madison got her accolades and her check, baby, and a feature on Beyonce's Renaissance album. It's been rumored that T.S. Madison shot some visuals, okay, for the Renaissance project that may not be released for whatever reason, but however, were shot and filmed. So shout out to Madison for trailblazing and doing really dope things. You guys also know that Flame and Roll also is all over on Netflix doing specials. She has a podcast. Shout out to Jason Lee. You guys know he's throwing his own award ceremonies. He's also over there on a Revolt Girl. Just shout out to the Black LGBT folk who are kicking ass right now. Okay, everybody might have varying beliefs and ideals and perspectives, but shout out for the bad bitch energy that is in the room when it comes to Black queer content creators and Black queer entertainers. Like, I'm really proud regarding the history and the strides that queer people are making in all of the spaces that they occupying. On top of that, we are out earning our biological hetero male counterparts in education and in economics, baby. So Black queer people got it going on right now, okay? That might be a part of the tension that's in the room. But it was a really good interview. I might touch on some things that were touched on in the interview in a separate live stream. But right now, we're here, girl, to get into some Bishop Criminal Head and his soon-to-be prison bae, Brandon Belmonte, girl. Okay, you guys have read the headlines correctly, girl. Before we get into that, I need you all to go ahead and thumbs up the video until it is absolutely stuck. You guys know that thumbing up helps with the YouTube's algorithm, but more importantly, it triggers up YouTube notification system, okay, which is going through some changes right now. Okay, so thumbing up is significant. Whether you are a Bush baby, whether you actively in these streets, girl, or whether you part of the replay gang, thumbs up the video until it is absolutely motherfucking stuck on, period. What's up? Shout out to all of the new subbies. Make sure that every last single one of you all have your notification bell set to all so that you never miss a day or an hour when the Kang is kanging. And last but not least, please share the stream out wherever it is you have digital community, honey. Okay, whether that is MySpace, Facebook, the dark side of Twitter, and Tumblr, your personal OF, I don't give a damn where you lay the link. Just let them whores know that we're loud, live, and in color. And with no further ado, let's go ahead and push on through. Oh,
I know a place where you can recharge your soul.
Baby, that's Consciouztv.
And in the midst of brokenness, he gon' see your asshole.
Baby, that's Consciouztv.
You gon' heal, you gon' laugh and catch a little shade.
Ooh, girl.
Y'all know he be slaying, y'all better stop playing. Come hear what he's saying.
Ladies and gentlemen.
All right, let me speak to the conscious crew who are in the building. What's going on, Kiwana, who says, I know that I'm too early, but I just had to leave this, which is a bunch of laughing emojis. That part. Jack Black says, Limor feels vindicated. Really? Because they both criminals? Help me to understand vindicated. That part, Jack. What's going on, baby mother Patricia? Hey, love. What's going on, Amy Diaz? Oh, let me get my pre-roll ready, baby. Hey, sexy Nessie. Nessa, what's going on? Lady Prophetess Deborah Jones. Hey, babes. Marvin Gaye said, what's going on, honey? What's going on, this baby? It looked like the criminal head gonna have some company down there on cell block 8, aside from Big Dick Derrick and all his homeboys. What's going on, Star? Hey, Ken. What's going on, boo? And thank you once again for your donation on yesterday. Love you long time. Hi, Queen B. Moore. Hey, Morky Mom 53. Hey, boo. What's going on, Viper? Yes, it was indeed a really, really, really good interview, and it was funny as hell. Especially when Sarah Lee had gave baby mother her cucumber award, girl. I was hollering. What's going on, Corinthia? Hey. What's going on, the Cat's Den? Hey. What's going on, VS Speaks Royally? Hey, boo. Made it on time, period. What's going on, Ian Gardner? Hey. Hey, you are. Okay, so you guys, let's go ahead and get into it. So you guys know the last time that we were here was actually, I believe, when we were speaking about my conversation with the bishop, about 2 months ago, girl? And then around that same time, for whatever reason, the same radio station that had interviewed Whitehead at the top of the year also had turned around and interviewed Brandon Belmonte, okay? But they didn't release it until recently, which was very odd, girl. You know, we were kind of speculating why they took so long to release the interview, because the interview didn't get released until like 4 months after the fact, you know, when the story had done lost traction. But you guys know that Bishop had filed a lawsuit, a frivolous one, allegedly, against Brandon Belmonte. Brandon Belmonte did say in his interview that he had not been served. The lawsuit is just sitting on the federal appellate courtroom floors, girl. It's inactive. He hasn't even been served. There's been no movement, no motion, and we haven't heard the bishop say anything about the lawsuit since having his disbarred attorney, Milk Dud Head Ponder, file it, right? Now, we learned in Brandon Belmonte's interview, which it had been the first public interview where he had spoken out against Bishop Whitehead and spoke to his experience, girl. We learned that according to him, he's an innocent man just doing good work in the community, helping young thugs to get lawyers to evade charges and accountability from police, etc., for the scheming and scamming and white collar crimes that they've been down there committing down there to the New Jersey's, girl. And he spoke about how him and Bishop came into contact with each other, which he claimed that Bishop had brought in one of his raggedy ass vehicles, or the vehicle of one of his in-laws, and that's kind of how their relationship began. He began to also talk about how much of a nuisance that Bishop was, and how Bishop was throwing Eric Adams, who is the mayor of New York's name, all around, and just trying to get him into doing some type of business, etc. He also wanted Brandon Belmonte to fix his in-laws' cars and his wife's vehicle for the Lolo, and then he just all of a sudden started demanding that Brandon Belmonte give him $5,000, and he just kept berating and pulling on Brandon Belmonte's check too for this $5,000. He even said that there was a point where the bishop got really aggressive towards him and really started acting like he was going to have something done to him if he didn't get this $5,000 that he was not even entitled to. Make a long story short, Brandon Belmonte claims he spoke to a friend about the terrorism he was experiencing from the bishop, and the friend encouraged him allegedly to go to the feds, and then the feds wiretapped Brandon Belmonte and the phone, and a series of telephone calls over the span of a few months played out where the feds were able to get Brandon Belmonte to engage Bishop, and Brandon also claimed that the feds gave him $5,000 to actually give to Bishop in order to keep the relationship going between Bishop and Brandon, who at this point was being an informant, and the feds were using Brandon Belmonte to do their bidding, etc. Honey, okay. He called Bishop a bunch of liars, this, that, and the third. And of course, when Bishop found out that Brandon Belmonte had in fact been working with the feds against him, he then started going on a press tour, blaming Brandon Belmonte for setting him up, and that this was the man who was responsible for everything that's going on, and that he's being racially profiled, and he is being targeted because he's a successful bishop and realtor and a successful businessman, and this is just a witch hunt. And then when that narrative doesn't work, he swings around and blames his own mentor, Eric Adams, and says that he is collateral damage, and all of this is really a political attack on Eric Adams, and he's only being targeted because of his proximity to Eric. And then when that gets tired, he turns around and blames Larry Reed and blames Giles. You know, the pendulum swings, girl. You know, it's any, mini, mighty, mo. Well, things have hit the goddamn fan, because despite how much Brandon Belmonte claimed that he was innocent, he's a good guy, he's the neighborhood friendly Spider-Man, girl, his ass done fucked around and goddamn indicted, bitch. Okay? After just going on his own press tour, claiming that he's just a humble, wealthy mechanic who is just the Father Teresa of his community, and he just be minding the business that pays him. Well, allegedly, the business that pays him is fraud. Now, you guys know, throughout the course of reporting on Bishop Whitehead, we have also reported on Brandon Belmonte, and in that last live stream we did covering Belmonte's interview, we also checked him out, girl, and you guys know Brandon Belmonte is being exposed all over on Reddit, girl. The Yep and the Yellow Page reviews, girl, are toe up, girl. He has just as many alleged victims against him, and who have been victimized by him as the criminal head has, girl, okay? There are people who are claiming that Brandon Belmonte has scammed them out of lots of money, has not rendered services that people paid him for, that he's a swindler and a manipulator and a liar, and that his daddy, his father also allegedly is a con man as well. And people have really been begging to have Brandon Belmonte held accountable, and because he has not been held accountable, people were suspecting that he indeed was a paid informant on behalf of the feds, and that's why he was able to escape accountability for his behavior. Well, I'm going to assume that there are going to be a lot of people who are going to be very happy, who have in fact been victimized by Brandon Belmonte, who allegedly is a con man as well. As a result of Brandon Belmonte's most recent indictment, which we're going to get into, Bishop Lamore feels completely vindicated, because this has been his narrative, girl, that he has been set up. This is all the fault of Brandon Belmonte, etc., girl. So he feels comforted and feels validated on some level or another, because, quote unquote, if you let him tell it, he was right. Now, what that got to do with his own separate indictments and superseded indictments, we do not know. But not only is Brandon Belmonte been indicted, but Criminal Head allegedly interviewed a alleged victim of Brandon Belmonte as well. And we're going to listen to that commentary here, okay? And get into some things. So once again, if you are a Bush baby, if you are actively in the streets right now, if you are a part of the Replay Gang in the aftermath, please thumbs up this video. This is super, super important right now, because YouTube is undergoing some changes, and they done fucked up the system. So I need you guys to manually hit that thumbs up button, and we counteract the raggedness in this YouTube chat. Okay, what's going on, Lisa? Hey, y'all. So what we're going to do first and foremost is pull you up an old nasty visual. Y'all know I like old nasty pieces of visuals, honey. And then we're going to get into these indictments, okay? So let me move over to the left, okay? According to the nypost.com, NYC businessman sued by Bishop Lamar Whitehead arrested for luxury rental car scheme. Check this out. A city businessman accused by flashy Brooklyn Bishop Lamar Whitehead of slandering him to the FBI, leading to federal charges, has been arrested for allegedly running a fraudulent luxury car rental line. Brandon Belmonte, 39 years of age. Oh, he's 39, girl. White people be aging. Girl, they be aging like damn hippos. 39 years of age, was busted for allegedly using 2 straw buyers to get financing for his luxury car fleet. Now, you guys also know Bishop Lamar Whitehead was just called out and exposed a few months ago for, is it a straw man's donor situation, girl, way back when, during one of his campaigns, girl. So it's funny how they literally be like lining each other up, like fraud for fraud for fraud, allegedly, girl, okay? Allegedly using 2 straw buyers to get financing for his luxury car fleet, hiding that they really be used as rentals for his business. VIP Cars NYC in Australia and the Bronx, according to a federal indictment. Belmonte also was accused of hiding from insurance companies that the vehicle would be rented out, the indictment charges. Belmonte appeared in Brooklyn federal court Friday, flanked by his lawyer, James, I don't even know what his last name is, for an arraignment where a not guilty plea was entered. According to court papers, Belmonte of Montclair, New Jersey, and the straw buyers, one of whom worked at VIP, allegedly provided lenders with fake earnings statements and phony bank account records to make it look like they were financially stronger than they really were. You guys know a part of Bishop Whitehead's and superseded indictment is him doing the same thing when he was trying to get loans for his car and for his home, which was in foreclosure, girl. He got caught up, girl, in fraudulent paperwork and trying to defraud the banking system, etc. Oh my God. Wow. The trio knew the lenders would not finance the sale or lease of the luxury vehicles if they knew the true intended purpose for the vehicles or the true financial status of the straw buyers, the indictment charges. Similarly, Belmonte hid from insurance companies that the cars would be used as rentals so he could get coverage. He later lied when submitting claims for accidents to court filing claims. In one example of the scam, from April 2020 through May 2020, Belmonte submitted claims from 3 separate accidents involving VIP's cars, falsely claiming the vehicles were driven by construction company employees when they were actually being rented out, the indictments claim. In another instance, in August 2021, Belmonte submitted a claim for a parking lot accident, saying that he worked for Homeland Security and claiming that he wasn't involved with VIP, the indictment says. Wow. Assistant U.S. Attorney Rebecca Scummon asked the judge to hold Belmonte on a $100,000 secured bond because he was a flight risk. Quote, Mr. Belmonte changed his cell phone number several times in the weeks leading up to his arrest, causing us to wonder if this was an attempt to evade arrest or law enforcement intervention. Scummon said, but his lawyer requested his client be released without bail, noting Belmonte doesn't even have a passport. Belmonte had changed his phone number because he had been receiving, quote, threats by associates in relation to this case, which prompted the lawyer to speak with the FBI regarding safety concerns, the lawyer said. It is, quote, unclear whether the threats relate to the case or directly to the fraud scheme that the defendant is involved in, Scummon countered. Belmonte was allowed to walk free Friday on a $100,000 bond backed by his mother, Judith Belmonte. but he can travel in parts of New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut. Magistrate Judge Nora Scanlon ruled. The mother dialed into the courtroom from her Connecticut home saying, quote, "It's very hard. He's all I've got," prompting Belmonte to tear up. Belmonte is charged with conspiracy to commit wire fraud and is due back in court on August the 16th. In March, Bishop Whitehead sued Belmonte for $200 million, claiming that if not for Belmonte's interview in the New Yorker and with the FBI, the fraud case against him in federal court wouldn't have been brought. The suit is still pending, but Belmonte hasn't responded to the case. Whitehead claimed that Belmonte was actually the con man and said that he hoped the feds will now reevaluate his case. Quote, "I want the world to see how the bishop is being painted as a villain instead of a victim," Whitehead told the Post at the time. Whitehead's lawyer did not immediately return a request for comments. I mean, it's almost like reading, it's like the mayonnaise version of Whitehead. It's literally like a copy and paste. There's like literally no difference. And you know what? This just brings my hypothesis full circle. Remember the last time that we spoke about this and it was regarding Brandon Belmonte's interview? I said then that the reason why Whitehead is pissed off is because Belmonte was the better con man. Belmonte played a player, and Whitehead got his ego bruised. Okay, Belmonte just outwitted Whitehead, girl. Okay, but now look at them. Bishop Whitehead filed a twin suit against Larry and Giles, but here it is now. Bishop and Belmonte got twin indictments, girl. They're twinning. They're twinning. See, this is what happens when you play dirty. You can never win, and karma just circles its big fat ass right back around, baby, okay? Karma is a big booty bitch, honey, okay? And she always comes around the mountains when she comes. It's just interesting how everything. Bishop Whitehead put his hands on Tasha Howard after he had done asked this woman to come up and speak to him, to engage him, and then assaulted her. But Tasha Howard was the one that had to get booked and be charged, even though her situation has been completely resolved thanks to the mercy of the Father, Son, and the Holy Daughter. But then after he played them games with Tasha, what happens? He gets indicted. It's just interesting how the bishop done played with all these men and women of God, and now he's stuck in a real rut. But karma gonna give him some company because apparently Brandon Belmonte been on his bald-headed whole shit too. And he about to get that work, baby. And they got Brandon Belmonte trial beginning, what, about 4 or 5 months before Whitehead's. He due back in court in August. Whitehead due back in court February of next year, I believe. At the top of the year, baby. They're going to be getting it started out here, okay? So what I'm about to show y'all is what Bishop Whitehead posted to his page the day that the indictment went into the system, girl. What's going on, Amimi twins? This is what Bishop posted, girl, to his Facebook account. As you guys can see here, it reads, "I told the world I was set up by a con man. More victims will come out this week. Brandon Belmonte set me up, baby." Okay? Talk about vindication, girl. And you know, the bishop got to take his wins wherever he can get them. Because you guys know who's been following his criminal case against the United States, girl. The indictment, you know, he's been losing terribly. Terribly, girl. Okay, terribly, baby. Losing backwards and forwards from east, west, north to south, baby. So the bishop gotta take his wins where he can get them, girl. Okay. Now Brandon Belmonte, the courts have already made it plain and very simple and very hooked on phonics to Whitehead that Brandon Belmonte has no relationship to the indictments against Whitehead. that Brandon Belmonte will not be a star witness, that he will not be participating. And now that Brandon Belmonte has been indicted, girl, he may actually have, in fact, not been used against Whitehead because the feds already knew then that his ass was going to be indicted his damn self. So this is very interesting, okay? So what we're going to now get into is Bishop Whitehead's live stream, where he is going to be talking to you all about this situation with one alleged victim of Belmonte girl, okay? He's all cheekbones and teeth, okay? How's it doing? How's it doing? And of course, this is covered by fair use. Let me go ahead and pull this up. Let me put my old nasty piece of fair use disclaimer out there, child. Okay, this is covered by fair use disclaimer for parody, research, comedy, etc. Y'all already know how fair use gives it the fuck up. Go ahead and share my screen. And pal, let's get into it, girl.
Set me up. And now it's time. He was arrested on Friday. And now it's time for you guys to really see who this person is. You guys are about to see who this person is. I have multiple victims where Brandon Belmonte allegedly has stolen millions of dollars. And I'm going to put you on with a young lady. All of these victims are going to be anonymous right now because they're very fearful. I've been in contact with them for the last 4 or 5 months, and it's multiple victims that this Brandon Belmonte. I've been getting inboxes with more victims. I've been getting, man, let me tell you something. It's been untold victims, y'all. So I need y'all to tag, and tag. Tag, and tag. Tag. All right. Listen. Let me give her a call. I almost got told off, y'all. Let me give her a call. And you got one more time, Kevin, and then you're getting blocked for good. All right? Because I'm starting to get tired of you. All right, y'all. There's some followers and stuff like that. Bishop King. All right, y'all. So I'm going to call. We're going to get this right in the way. We're going to get this right in the way. I want to get this victim on. And hold on a second. Are y'all ready? I need y'all to share. Y'all know this was last minute. I just posted this in 10 minutes. I know we have a bunch more followers if I have more time, but I want to get this in the way, y'all. I want to get this in the way. Y'all ready? Let me get her on. Hey. Hold on 1 second. I got everybody on right now, and they're tagging right now. Hold on 1 second. They're tagging. Because hold on. Tagging. All right, y'all, tag. I have one of the victims. This is a young lady that reached out to me, and she just was so distraught. Like I said, I'm going to keep all of the victims confidential. Their names confidential for their safety, and just to make sure that they are secure. And this is the first of many that I'm going to be doing interviews with, because this Brandon Belmonte is a con man, and he was arrested by the federal FBI on this past Friday, but it does not have all of the charges. And this is a young lady that I want her to go through her story so you guys can see the businessman that the media was talking about. They called him the
Now, mind you, y'all, if somebody had interviewed any of his alleged victims, girl, if anybody had interviewed Pauline Anderson or her son, girl, he'd be sending out subpoenas, cease and desist, filing lawsuits, and then earlier, like in the very beginning of this video, he didn't mention his own indictment, but said that he's not here to talk about that. Of course, he's not here to talk about his indictment, son. Only Brandon Belmonte, okay?
Man, they called they called him a businessman, and they don't even realize that he's a con man. All right. So we're going to just call this person victim one. We're going to call him victim one of Brandon Belmonte. And we're calling this series Surviving Brandon Belmonte. Surviving Brandon Belmonte. He is a wicked con man. So good to have you on the Bishop Show. How you doing?
Good. How about you?
I'm doing great. Let me turn you up. Can y'all hear her good? Or I want to make sure y'all hear her good. Amen. And we're gonna get this thing going. Can y'all hear her good? All right, yes, they can hear you. So listen, go ahead, man. Tell us about your experience with Brandon Belmonte.
Well, it's kind of a long story, but basically it started because we had a car, a BMW i8 that we wanted to sell, and one of our friends was apparently doing business with a guy named Jake. He did not use his real name. He had fake paperwork, and his name was apparently Jake Belmonte. And so we drew up, sale paper contracts, and essentially he had a dealership called Empire Luxury Car Rentals, and then he ended up changing the name to VIP NYC. He's changed his page multiple times, essentially, but at the time it was Empire. So we met him through a mutual friend.
Let me just stop right there. So VIP, if y'all look at the indictment, that's the company that he was just indicted on. So that you guys understand, it was Empire first, as what the victim says, and now he changed it to VIP, and that's what he's been indicted on. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, he's had to change it from Empire because we will go back to the background in a little bit, but his entire background with Empire, if you look up Empire, started with liquor stores, and he's used that name to con people for over a decade, which I found out later. But at the time, my understanding was his name was Jake Belmonte. He owned a legitimate luxury rental car business, and the deal was essentially to do car and payments while he rented it and while he had insurance, and he gave us a deposit and paid for the car to be transferred. So we sent the car. I did not send the title, obviously, until the car was paid off. And he said, he gave us state proof, I guess, of insurance. So the car was with him. Essentially, the car got totaled right away. It turns out he was using a third party to rent out cars. Did not have insurance in the car. It was wrecked. And it was...
Okay, so what this lady is saying so far, y'all, is consistent with what Brandon Belmonte has been indicted for, which is defrauding the lenders of these vehicles under the guise that they would be personal vehicles that really, in fact, they would be used for rental purposes, etc. And you guys know how hard people are on rental cars. I completely understand why dealers of any kind are not interested in having their cars as rental vehicles, baby. But this woman was on the receiving end of this alleged scam, etc. And she's saying that the vehicles weren't even damn insured. Now, someone just asked in the chat, does anybody believe that this is a real victim? She sounds pretty straight-laced so far. This probably is somebody who is adjacent to the situation. She's speaking pretty fluidly. She kind of running through it. So right now, I'm gonna say probably. It's probably, and it's consistent with what he's been charged with.
completely.
Okay, so hold right there. So just so that y'all know,
Now, 9 times out of 10, because a bishop's past, and according to the feds, his present, what really probably brought both Bishop and Belmonte into proximity of each other is Bishop heard the word from the curb about Belmonte and his business-like practices, quote unquote. Okay, because you guys know it's always it's always a pyramid. Okay, always a matrix, a web that schemers and scammers all run in together, honey. Okay, it's a self-sustaining empire. So more than likely, to somebody's point in the chat, girl, Bishop was trying to find a way to develop a relationship to Belmonte and do some business things together. Because even Belmonte admitted to that in his interview, that Bishop wanted him to sponsor him and to fund him and flipping properties and all of this. So if we're going to take what Belmonte said to heart, then yeah, Bishop was trying to see if he could get in on some of this shit allegedly. But once again, he got played by an actual player. Okay, Belmonte was just a better player in the situation, and Bishop seemingly just seems to have been bitter about getting played to the left as a result.
if you read the indictment, he was indicted for straw bias. Okay, and this is what he did to this young lady. He bamboozled her, and this is what she's talking about. She's a very sophisticated and successful young lady. She's not no person on the side of the street. Like, I don't want to get into her business, but she's very successful. And this is what he was indicted for, and that's why we know that more charges will be charged against him. And this is what he does. So go ahead, finish taking your time. Go ahead.
Of course. So another thing is he uses lawyers all the time. So, I mean, multiple lawyers. I'm not sure how some of them I've stuck around with him because there's been a list of lawyers that have not been paid by this man, but he does use them to pretend to be legitimate and draw up contracts to say he's going to pay you back, but he never will. But anyway, so the car was wrecked.
Wow. So this woman also, this alleged victim just eluded. Y'all, I just spoke about this being a whole network of scammers. This woman, alleged victim of Brandon Belmonte, just also alluded to the fact that there may be other lawyers, professionals, who be aiding and abetting Brandon Belmonte in his bullshit. Can you believe that? Professionals, girl, people who take an oath to serve and protect, be in on the raggediness of society, honey. Be in on the criminality of it all. Lawyers. Now, Brandon Belmonte could just be using some sham names and clout chasing off of lawyers that either exist or don't exist, kind of like how Whitehead be doing when it comes to throwing Eric Adams' name around, or he may have some backing by some actual attorneys who are getting also a cut and a payout. This shit is deep and multi-layered, and this is some bullshit. Wow.
Not tell us where the car was. Refuse to tell us where the car was. I called the police in New York, and they said it was a civil matter, even though I said at some point, even if you rent a car from Avis, if you don't bring it back, it's a stolen vehicle, and they refused to help us. So we had no idea where the car was for months, and finally I get a notice of sale of the vehicle. They were trying to sell my car for storage fees in New York.
Wow.
That was the first I'd heard of where the car was at that point. And in the meantime, by the way, between the point of the car having been wrecked and figuring out where the car was, he sent multiple verifications of wires multiple tracking numbers of checks that were supposed to come through, and all of them were fake and fraudulent.
Oh,
So
say that one more time. Say that one more time so they can hear clearly.
Thank you to baby mother Patricia for the old nasty piece of cash app. Thank you, baby mother. Love you long time. Thank you, thank you, thank you. God bless you.
I said that he kept sending multiple confirmations of wires and tracking numbers of checks he was sending, but they were all fake. All of the wires were fraudulent.
Wow.
And of course, in the meantime, he kept buying, there was always a sob story with Brandon. This person is happening with this. My wife cheated on me and has a baby with someone else. My mom is sick. My dad is sick. And it turns out mom and dad apparently were in on the entire deal. At least dad was.
Wow. So remember I told you guys at the beginning of this commentary that, allegedly Brandon Belmonte's dad is the father of criminality as well. And this alleged victim is now saying that the dad was definitely in on it, and mama ass was too, baby. Old piece of mayonnaise on a rocking chair, girl. 80-year-old mayonnaise woman, girl, on her rocking chair in her mini mansion, girl, living well, okay, off of the hard-earned pennies and Social Security numbers of everyday working class folk. My God.
Since passed on, but basically, in between all that as well, I found out his real name because we paid someone that works for him to give us his ID. Because at that point, we were wary about who this guy was, even though he had fake paperwork. So it turned out his name was Brandon Belmonte. A quick Google search immediately popped up that he has a string of fraudulent activities spanning well over a decade. So I started getting in touch with other victims, and I went to the FBI, made a report. So
how long ago was that you started? It was your first time you started making FBI reports on him?
2019. So I made reports. I found other people who had also made reports. So this is, like I said, this has been an ongoing fiasco. He's been doing this for well over a decade. So I finally found out who he was. I started kind of panicking, messaged the FBI. We finally had to hire a lawyer in New York to try to get the car out because we never authorized the car to be in a body shop. I never even was there. They lied to the police that the owner of the vehicle allowed the car to be towed. The police never contacted me as the registered. My name was on the title. I was never contacted by the police either that the car was in a car accident. I found out later because a lawsuit came my way from the car accident. But the cops basically let them take the car from the car scene without notifying me. And they lied and said the owner authorized it. So I had to get a lawyer involved to get the car back out. From my understanding, now this part I can't confirm or deny, but from my understanding, Brandon's had dealings with body shops for years. I've heard it from other victims. And so essentially it's like another con where he will.
It does sound like she she bribed someone for some personal information, but baby, when you done been victimized and scammed, honey, and you got to get to the T, honey, okay, you gotta get to the you gotta get the deets, baby, okay? You slide that old nasty piece of $50 bill out of your bra and ask them, does Brandon Belmonte name come up in the system now? Okay, you pull out the $100 bill out the good side, off the good titty meat, baby, okay? Does his name, secretary, come up in the system now, honey? And I would be lying if I said, baby, I'd be doing the same damn thing, baby. Whatever pathway to justice needs to be had, even if it means bending the law a little bit, baby. Okay? Big fish versus small fish. I'd be doing the same thing, baby. Okay? Y'all know the magic is in the right side of the titty, baby. Don't act like you ain't had to pull out an extra 20, baby, to see if a bitch's name was in the system, honey. Okay? You gotta do what you gotta do, honey.
You know, like, I guess
you gotta scam a scammer, baby, okay?
Partner up with a body shop to be able to get them money, and then they split it. So they wanted, I think, like $64,000, something like that, for the car to be stored there. So we had a process server. The guy pulled a gun on my process server. It was a whole fiasco. So finally, we did get the car back out. Unfortunately, it was during COVID, so our court date got pushed back like 8 months. So we've been paying on this car for years. So the car's still wrecked. The car is useless.
Are you still paying on the car?
Yes.
Wow.
Insurance wouldn't cover it because of the sale of the car. So Brandon, once again, at one point he did pay us some money because I guess there was an Instagram account that was started that was calling him out for being a fraudulent person. So he started paying back a little bit to a couple of victims, and then once again he went missing. And I finally saw the article where someone sent me anonymously, actually, an article where he was apparently the informant on your case. And of course, I was enraged immediately because he had said, he always says he has the FBI in his back pocket, that he has all of these, Hive contacts, and that he knows it.
Now, it's no way if somebody, now, you can tell she was lying on this part because she went out. It was no reason for her to go out of her way to say the person who sent her the tea on Brandon Belmonte adjacent to Bishop's own case was anonymous, honey. Ain't nobody sent her no damn tea, baby. Once you got to Googling, all roads led back to Bishop Whitehead, baby. And you saw that beautifully articulated, narrated New Yorker article that was written up about Eric Adams and his protege, Mr. Whitehead, girl. Okay? And the gag about it is she's sitting here talking about being victimized by one scam artist, but I know your research also afforded you to understand that Bishop Whitehead also is facing trial for the same exact charges that Bishop Belmonte, girl. Might as well be Bishop Belmonte. Bishop Belmonte, girl, is facing, honey. So I wonder how is it she was able to muster feeling comfortable talking to Whitehead about Belmonte when Whitehead also has indictments and superseded indictments and allegedly has 1 trillion victims under his belt as well. That's kind of weird that she's talking to one alleged con man, according to his indictments, about another damn con man with indictments. It's kind of like talking to the devil about demons. Like, it's kind of weird. Like, she's not talking to a reputable news station or just have taken to her own social media page to tell the story, which she could have did, like a lot of people do when they got something to say. They just hit the live button and spill their tea on their own shit. But she's talking to a man who's currently facing charges for fraud and wire fraud and banking fraud and real estate fraud and lying to the FBI and etc. about another lying ass motherfucker. Are these the times we living in, y'all? If there was anybody who wanted to question her story, I would completely understand that. Simply because of just who she's talking to. Like, girl, did you not read the room? And this is what I always say, girl, people need PR because the man you're talking to don't have no credibility. And then you already coming forth anonymously talking to another nigga who gonna be fighting for his damn freedom, fighting for his anal virginity this coming February. It just a lot going on. It just be a lot going on, y'all.
Important people, and that's why basically he can get away with what he gets away with. So when I saw he was an informant, I was enraged. I've heard many times that he's bragged about this. There's actually a video at one point that he posted bragging that he had posted or put reportings in some of his rental cars to basically turn people over. So like I said, I was enraged because I'm like, how is a guy that's been scamming people for over a decade an informant for the FBI? So I reached out to you, obviously, because I've been trying to get someone to listen to me and like the 15 other people that I speak with on a daily basis.
Girl, out of all the damn people that report on Whitehead, the Roots, the Trio, Mark Lamont Hill, Ham, Esquire, The Law Intellect, Really Be TV, Chef the Don, Consciouztv, you know, people who ain't got no indictments, people who ain't got no victims, you know. Out of all the folk, like, she literally just act like there would be nobody who would be interested in hearing about Brandon Belmonte. Hell, the radio station that interviewed Bishop and Belmonte would have received her call-in testimony. If she needed and wanted to go to somebody in media, why is she speaking as if Bishop Whitehead would be the only person who has an interest in her story as it relates to Brandon Belmonte? As hot in the press, Bishop's name and Brandon Belmonte's name has been over the past 6 months. Make it make sense, but anyway.
Try to get some justice because Brandon needs to be stopped. That man has been doing this for too long. He's hiding his money. He's still doing, as he was doing your informant stuff, he was still scamming people actively. So I spoke to someone that he stole the car to. They wired him the deposit, and he never sent the car.
So talk about that now, because you know, I don't want to have you on too long because we're going to continue to do this. But I just wanted the people to know. But just talk about some of the victims and exactly what they did, because you know we all been on the phone with a ton of victims. I know he scammed somebody for liquor stores.
That was his first scam, was the liquor stores. This was the Empire liquor stores. He would drop contracts, say that he had backers, and he would take their money and then basically leave. There's one guy he basically put everything on, and the poor guy had to file for bankruptcy. He also started a website at one point where people never got their wine that they were ordering. So that was like the beginning of it all. I was not involved in that part. That's just what I read. But there is, if you Google Brandon Belmonte, you will find a thread. And of course, there's somebody, which I'm 99% sure is Brandon, who said that they've been doing business with them since 2016. It's been great, but I'm sure that's a lie because I don't know one person that's done business with Brandon that hasn't been in trouble later.
Hold on one second. So just to give you an update, this is a victim of Brandon Belmonte. Brandon Belmonte is the con man that set Bishop up. You guys know that I've been screaming my innocence, and this is the con man that created this narrative to set me up to be arrested. And you know, everybody ridiculed me and everybody talked bad about me, and now Brandon Belmonte was just arrested by the feds for scamming and scheming and conning people, and now all of his victims are going to start to come out. I've spoken to at least 7 now? At least 7 victims, and the number has arisen over, I believe, $1 to $2 million of scams and conning from Brandon Belmonte.
So several idiots have spoken to an alleged con man about their experience with another alleged con man. And then these people wonder why they keep getting scammed. Like, at this point, you can't even type in Brandon Belmonte's name without it being adjacent to Criminal Head's name. I mean, all the New York Times posts written up, all of the YouTube links that show up on the front page of Google. I mean, I don't like, have these so-called victims not learned anything at all? Like, ain't the reason why y'all in this shit to begin with is because y'all didn't run these names through Google before y'all got raptured up? into scam heaven. And y'all are sitting here engaging a man who is currently, not that he has a pass. It'd be one thing if Bishop had a pass. You know, he got a pass. It is what it is. He don't go on to do wonderful things in life and save millions of souls. The man is currently being rendered a criminal according to the United States government. Hello? Why are y'all talking to someone who's capable of taking the last four of your damn phone number, bitch? Okay, and getting a payday loan with it. Not according to me. Not according to nobody in the chat, baby. There is a pending case that the United States government currently has against the man y'all talking to about another man who has a pending case against or from the United States government. Sugar, ain't y'all been through this one time before? Y'all ain't learned nothing yet, bitch. Y'all still just pulling up on scammers, girl. What type of energy y'all got that just keep magnetizing y'all ass into proximity to? I mean, just be walking into the damn punches. You would have thought this woman done spoke about how a car she thought she was leasing to own was stolen and then taken to a dealership unauthorized by her that wasn't insured, where fake police reports were filed, etc. And this, that, and the damn third, baby. And then here she is going telling all the damn church's business to somebody else she should not be trusting in the least, according to the U.S. government, baby. Not according to CCV, not according to anybody in the chat, but according to the United States government. Why is these folks acting like they not in danger? I don't understand. But moving on.
Is I'm going to give them my platform because this con man have turned my life upside down. He's turned my life upside down, and he's allowed the media and the world to believe that he was a businessman, and he's not a businessman. And I don't want no inboxes talking about let this be handled in court. I'm just talking about a con man. I'm talking about a con man that have destroyed.
Well, let's also say how let this be handled in court, but we tried going to the prosecutors. Mm-hmm. So let's, we can't say let's be handled in court when it's still being ignored.
And that's what.
Okay, so everybody who was asking why she ain't ran to the law, she just told y'all that the law said the door is closed. The door is closed. The door is closed. Now, considering that they done got this man on indictment for fraud, what the feds could have been doing for quite a long time, unbeknownst to victims, just like they were doing in Whitehead's case, is they was already on the trail, building a case against Belmonte, etc. Just like everybody been asking, why won't the feds pick Whitehead ass up and put his ass behind bars? Because he has violated his probation or his bond and bail agreement. However, if the feds would have snatched Whitehead up when he started pussy popping out here in these streets, causing all type of terrorism with online influencers and things, he would have never been able to commit all the other crimes he ended up committing, which helped them to supersede shit. Had they picked Whitehead ass up, he would have never been able to allegedly defraud the banking system. He would have never been able to have the time to falsify paperwork and documents with the intent to commit fraud, allegedly. See, the feds knew that Whitehead's life was falling apart. And that as a result of him trying to keep it together, he would be forced to do more criminal shit. And that's exactly what the fuck he did. So more than likely, they had the same psychology and strategy when it came to Belmonte. They were already on that ass. They already was observing him, already clocking his ass and shit that they could absolutely get him put away on. So they wasn't worried about the little frivolous shit that he had going on. They were keeping their eye out on the prize. Or either the law was just raggedy and tacky and just felt these victims. It's one of those things.
They called me as pretty much the last hurrah, and they saying, you know, Bishop, we've been ignored. We've been filing paperwork, filing police reports, calling prosecutors, and nobody didn't want to hear them until he messed with Bishop. And now things are really hitting the fan. And, you know, now.
Why this man literally believes that Eric Adams or Brandon Belmonte or King Josh or Larry Reed has anything to do with him trying to defraud an entire fucking bank, falsify documentations, create mock bank accounts, lying to the authorities themselves, find exactly where Brandon Belmonte or anybody else has anything to do with why you lied to the FBI about not having one phone but two phones. How does any of these people he casting blame on have anything to do with him refusing to give his passwords to the FBI regarding the 13 pieces of technology, tablets, phones, computers, laptops, desktops, VCRs, etc., that they retrieved from his home? He refused to provide passwords. They had to bring in their own techs in order to jailbreak these devices to get into his electronics. What does Brandon Belmonte have to do with that? What does Larry and King Giles or Pauline Anderson have to do with that? You allegedly running off with Pauline Anderson's whole life savings under the guise that you were going to be getting her a home, only for you to use it for the sake of your own damn luxury and come up. How does any of these folk have any relationship to the indictments pending against him? This is what makes us question Bishop's sanity. This is what makes us question his sanity, because this is the full-on demonstration of delusion. Delusion. Your indictments have nothing to do with what anybody said. Your ass gonna be fighting for your freedom in February of 2024 because of the shit you have allegedly done. Fuck what you heard, baby. The feds can't build a case on nobody on rumors. Rumors have to be legitimized. Yabba dabba doing has to be substantiated. The feds don't get to build a case and put your ass away based upon hearsay, baby. There has to be some factuality and actuality in order to clank your ass. And the fact that the bishop is trying his case in the court of public opinion as if we have a heaven or a hell or a cell block to put his ass on just really screams to how scared and mortified and petrified the bishop is at what's coming ahead. Because when people start to get scared and they start to become induced with anxiety, what comes with that anxiety is paranoia. With paranoia comes delusion. These wild, fantastical hallucinations Okay, start being on the R.L. Stein shit, girl. Goosebump tees. Clearly, Bishop is scared out of his fucking mind. He is so scared that he finds some type of an emotional and mental relief by spinning these narratives publicly, because what it does is it garners the minority folk who champion behind him to show up and tell him delusional things like, it's going to be all right, Bishop. We know you're innocent, Bishop. You were telling the truth always, because he ain't got nobody in his life who willing to lie like that to him. According to Bishop, Larry ain't answering the phone. Archbishop Jordan ain't answering the phone. Eric Adams ain't answering the phone. The spiritual wife with the emotional support baby, we know that she fled for her damn life months ago, earlier this year, baby. He ain't got nobody to lie to him in his life. He's a lone wolf. So the little delusional religious fanatics that make up his several online members, that's all he got, baby, to pull together some sense of encouragement and some sense of false hopes, to garner some sense of certainty. Okay, this goes to these fantastical delusions of grandeur that lack total. Like, I want the bishop, you know what I would love the bishop to do? Well, I want the bishop to read his indictments online. And then after that, I want him to tell us, okay, where do you see Brandon Belmonte's name in your indictment? Where do you see Larry Reed's, King Jives? Where, baby? Are your indictments not rooted in verb, aka actions? Are you not being tried before the United States government, before this country in 2024 because of what you have allegedly done? What part of your indictment is rooted in pure, unadulterated rumor milling? What part? Where does it say that you are being put away, you're being tried, you are being found guilty solely off of the words and the narratives of other folk? Does you submit in fraudulent alleged paperwork down there to the bank? Is that not an action? You having mock checking and savings accounts? Not an action? You love to slam Pauline Anderson and say she wasn't even a parishioner, as if that's hardly the argument here, is what position she did or didn't have in your church. Who gives a damn? It's semantics. Who gives a damn if she never attended your church? She's made a claim that you damn near stole $100,000 from her under false pretenses. And all you can argue is she wasn't a parishioner. She wasn't a parishioner. This lady got a whole lawsuit pending against you, and her case is actually also a part of your indictment. And you say you never stole from this woman. However, because every now and again, I got to remind the people, right? Every now and again, we got to pull up the Carfax because Pauline Anderson submitted the text thread. She submitted the text thread, girl, of you admitting that there was a financial transaction and that you were supposed to go and get her a house with this coin, despite everything you've been saying in the press about her line. Here it is. You thought you were speaking to her son, Rashid, who is a member or was a member of your church, because that's how Pauline Anderson got put on to you by her son, because you had flipped some houses and got her son and his fiance a nice home for a great deal. And so off the strength of the successful work you did for her son and her daughter-in-law, she trusted you to also get her a house. And then after she started hitting you up about her coinage, and her son was also getting into your ass about her coinage and what was taking so long and why they have not been receiving any progress reports on this investment, you decided to blow a lid thinking you was talking to Rashid when you was really talking to Pauline Anderson. So you guys see here, these are just some of the text messages from Pauline's lawsuit against Whitehead last year. It says, "Good morning, Rashid. This is Lamar talking. You are a liar." At this point, he's infuriated because Pauline's son, once again, is calling him out for bailing on his mama, doing his mama wrong. "You are a liar. And I promise you, God will deal with you. If you want to hire a lawyer, have them contact me." Because at this point, Rashid was letting him know, you ain't got my mama money. You ain't got her fucking property. You ain't got her no house. You ain't got no nothing. You ain't been answering the phone. We having to run behind you. We getting the voicemail, my nigga. So Rashid let him know, look, if you don't come up with something, either run my mama her money back or produce for her what you promised to produce for her, yeah, you will be hearing from our lawyers. So Whitehead is going out. I promise to God we'll deal with you. If you want to hire a lawyer, have them contact me. At this point, you are a liar and a deceiver. Nothing you have said is accurate, and you have a demon that only God can deal with. Now watch God's judgment on your life. Then he provides a freaking Bible verse. "You are trying to make false documents by text. You will see how much God loves me. You are a liar and a deceiver. I'm in awe of how the devil was using you. However, I knew it was coming. Now beware, the hand of judgment will hit your life and everything that's connected to you." Baby, he got exclamation points behind this rage. "I will also," now here is where he fucked up at. Here's where he fucked up at. He didn't even know he was about to fuck up because he was so quick with them Twitter fingers. This way he fucked up and exposed his own hand at. "I will also send you proof and bills from people that I hired months ago to start the process of investments." But he said in his interview, the same radio station he interviewed with, that Brandon Belmonte interviewed with, he said he never came into contract with Pauline Anderson, that her $90,000 was a donation to him. It was a gift to him. That's what he literally said. There was never no business transaction. He didn't owe her anything, that she donated. Donated that money to him. That was gifted to him by Pauline. Gifted. But right here in the text messages that Pauline submitted alongside her lawsuit, he done fucked around and exposed his hands, and indeed is acknowledging that he received money that he was supposed to invest on Pauline's behalf. "I will also send you proof and bills from people that I hired months ago to start the process of investments." The investments, he said, he never was making on Pauline's behalf, baby. The non-existent investments, if you let him talk to the media. But right here, in the eye of the storm, he's acknowledging those transactions and what the context of that $90,000 was: investment. And for the record, anything was given to me, then he tries to double back around. Because once again, he said earlier, right, that he called Rashid out. Because see, now he's trying to play reverse psychology. He feels like Rashid's setting him up by texting him and trying to get him to incriminate himself. But because he ain't got no emotional discipline, the truth is also coming out alongside of him also trying to catch his damn self and spin the block with his own narratives because he's trying to get ahead of Rashid allegedly tripping him up, but he just fucked all the way up because both of those things can't be true at the same time. A donation is not a fucking investment on somebody's behalf. He literally just became double-minded and spoke out of both sides of his fucking neck because both of those things cannot be true. You can't call what, and then he didn't even say she gave it. He is also admitting that he gets to decide to transmute an investment into a personal donation. My God, today. Are y'all catching this? For the record, anything that was given to me is a donation, unless it's attached to a contract. After he just acknowledged that they have a contract and they're doing business together. So much so that he's going to send proof that he's making good on his end of the business deal and the contract. But also just tried to flip the script to save his own ass when really all he had to do was erase the first sentence he wrote out before he sent this entire clip here that was hypocritical and contradictory, but also exposed his own mindset because he just told them that he gets to decide at any point to dupe his clients and decide that their money for the services they're paying him with get to be personal donations instead. And he can just drop the ball at any point in time, as if that statement also does not vindicate Rashid and his mother Pauline even fucking more. You just basically admitted in so many words to them that you feel you are allowed to scam them. Because that's what a scam is. Pretending to be or provide something that turns out to be something else in fact. Are y'all catching this? This man just gave his whole shit away and exposed so much data in just those 2 sentences. For the record, after he just called what Pauline Anderson went into him with as an investment, for the record, anything that was given to me is a donation. I was making investments. That's what I do, for the record. Okay, so once again, literally, you've seen the double-mindedness. This man can't make up whether it's an investment and a contract or whether it's a donation. Literally, he's teetering between 2 fucking minds. Double-minded. All of this, now, this is where Pauline enters the chat at. All of this because of what? Because you took money that you refused to pay back and now you're quoting scripture to serve your purpose. This is so offensive. And did you just go there? You said you were a man of integrity. Where in all of this is that? So much passive-aggressive tone to your conversations. I told you already, we are not having a back and forth. This is not my style, and it shouldn't be yours as you lead followers. Think about that. Now you are actually asking God to strike my son. Hold on, do I have the other one? Oh, to strike my son because you both fell out with each other. Unbelievable. I don't have to tell you who you are. Every time you text, it speaks to the heart of who you are. And Pauline filed her lawsuit accordingly. And then shortly after she did that, the feds swooped in and incorporated her lawsuit into their indictment. So I guess it's safe to say that Pauline never gonna get her money back, and that's fucked up. I almost wish that the feds would have allowed Pauline case, her civil case against Whitehead, to actually go through so that she could get a judgment. But then I'm thinking, well, that would have been pointless anyway, because she would have been in the same predicament that Cardi B's in with Unhinged with Budweiser K. Because what we've learned through the indictment, through the expose all of Whitehead's business, is that Whitehead is broker than broke. He had less than $10 in one fucking account. And we know that he's been allegedly robbing Peter in order to pay Paul. House and foreclosure and all. So the actuality is there would have been nothing for Pauline to collect on. On top of that, the feds were ready to strike. Pauline's Anderson case was kind of the final straw. They went ahead and moved through on their end with their shit, because they were going to be putting his ass away. Could you imagine being an elderly woman and your life savings just gone down the tube? And once again, she had every reason to some degree to trust in the sincerity of Bishop Whitehead, because he had done work with two of her loved ones, her daughter-in-law and her son. Only for him to do them right, but do Pauline Anderson completely in. $90,000. Down the shitter. Poof. It's almost like you never even had $90,000. And you're not going to get that money back. That's also a part of why karma is circling around, superseding shit and doubling down. Because Pauline may not get her money, but like all the other victims, Pauline go damn sure get her justice. That's what karma is making sure of. On the front end, you ain't getting your money back, mama. On the back end, you're going to watch his ass get put in that orange jumpsuit and know that he can never do this to anybody else again. Let's get back to finishing this whole nasty piece of interview that Whitehead had with one of Brandon Belmonte's alleged victims. Hold on. My computer moving slow.
Going to really see who this con man is. Brandon Belmonte. All you have to do is Google him. I've been getting so many inboxes from his victims, right? And I want you to still inbox me, because we're going to put you right to who you need to talk to, because of, you know, what he has done to me. He's been doing to them for years. I never knew the guy at all. I didn't know him. You know, I was just met him through a friend, associate of mine, not even a friend, associate of mine, and boom, this is what he started to do to me. And like I said, I'll wrap.
Now, mind you, Brandon Belmonte told us in his interview that the feds have 4 different recordings between him and Bishop, while Bishop is claiming that he didn't know the guy. He doing the same thing that Belmonte did in his interview. Belmonte was distancing himself from Whitehead, acting like, I don't really know him. I don't really da-da-da-da-da-da. Whitehead is doing the same thing. I don't really know Belmonte. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And what that tells us between the both of them is y'all very well much so knew the fuck out of each other. But the both of y'all be trying to have a low profile because y'all be on y'all bullshit. And now that the block is hot, everybody want to go into witness protection. When the reality is, because of both of y'all's nature, y'all not integral as individuals. Y'all got the best of each other. And y'all both saw all this controversy as an opportunity to drag each other and to get y'all lit back, but fuck around, karma got its lit back on both of y'all ass, and now y'all twinning. Now Brandon Belmonte, alleged Mr. Rogers, got fucking mugshots, done been arrested. Whitehead got arrested last December, booked and busy down there. Belmonte gonna be in court in August of 2023. Whitehead gonna be in court in February of 2024. Baby, this karmic manifestation is off the goddamn chain. And the fact that karma, and you know this is the work and the synergy and the cosmic power of universal karma because of how timely it all is. The fact that karma lined they both up, both their ass up at the same time. The fact that this interview with Belmonte dropped right before his ass gets arrested, just to dispel everything he said in the interview about him being so innocent. It's the timeliness of it all. It's the twinning for me. It's the devilment twinness of it all for me. That's how you know it is a cosmic force, baby, behind this shit. The timing is a dead ass giveaway.
Money didn't have charges against me, but my lawyers are handling it and they're doing what they need to do. But what I want you to do, victim one, that's what I want to call her, is just let us know about what he did to a few of the victims, because this young lady right here has been like really orchestrating and pulling all of the victims together. And I met her first, and then she connected me with a lot of different victims, so she knows their stories up and down. You know, so let's talk about the victim 2 from Florida, where Brandon sold him a Urus, took $120,000 from him, and he never got the car. Let's talk about that.
So from that story, what I've gathered from it is that he sold him a Urus that was apparently at a dealership. He called and verified the car was there, and he sold him essentially a car that did not exist. And he wired him the deposit money, never sent a car, never sent anything, and refused to send the money back. He's also received checks that, of course, bounced, and wires that didn't exist. So he's been doing this whole wire fraud for, like I said, decades. There was another victim that I spoke with who rented a car from him and then had the car towed as he was renting the car because the car did not belong to Brandon. It belonged to a third party that was not supposed to be rented out. So the man paid, I don't know how, like I want to say like $80,000. He bought the car, it might have been. I'm pretty sure he bought it. It was like $80,000, and he literally had the car taken from him because it did not belong to Brandon.
And also talk about, and so that was $120,000 that he took from an innocent person and sold him a car that he never owned. Let's talk about the person from out of Queens, New York, that Brandon Belmonte rented a Urus and sold it to the person in Queens for $85,000.
That's what it was, yeah.
It was $85,000, and the rental people came back and snatched the car.
But look at how Bishop is intent, baby, on keeping a goddamn photographic memory of all of the coin, girl, right down to the decimal and the cent, to the point that the person telling him the story ended up being wrong, and she had to give Bishop the credit just now for getting the numbers right. He's like, oh yeah, that's right. Bishop, is this why you a little bit bitter toward Belmonte, baby? Because Belmonte been running them schemes successfully, pulling in big dollars, while you've been allegedly strong arming folk for $5,000 and $400, but Brandon Belmonte been pulling in the guapity guap. Is this what you might be upset at not being able to participate in with Belmonte? He thought you was a little too thirsty, thought you might be a liability. You sat in his office, y'all talked for 5 5 hours at a time. And what he was doing was studying your psychology. He said, this nigga ain't that good in that. He ain't that good at this. He goofy. I got too much to lose. This nigga end up fucking everything up. He also saw that you were trying to con him, and of course he ran game on your. Of course he ran your name. He fixing on your relatives' cars, etc. Of course he running names. All it took him was to go to the bathroom for 30 minutes and run your name through a Wikipedia search, and he was able to come back and reappropriate his whole energy towards your presence at his body shop. Brandon Belmonte, he wasn't so good that he was able to completely avoid getting caught up in his shit. But it's clear that he was a little better at this than you and got away with a whole lot more than you ever did, because every time you've been on your bald-headed whole shit, a Whitehead, you got arrested, had to pay restitution, got caught red-handed, baby. Brandon Belmonte made sure to connect himself to powerful people, had the back end of lawyers, attorneys, politicians. You try to go the same route with Eric Adams, but you had all your eggs in one whole basket. You weren't as clever and cunning as Brandon Belmonte is. It's very clear that y'all are both upset at each other because this is a dick slanging contest. Egos got bruised and hurt. And it's crazy that you've been calling this man name like Candyman 5 times in the mirror. And y'all both been dragging each other publicly, only for y'all both to end up in the same predicament in the very fucking end. Because now y'all both gonna have to prove to the federal courts, to a federal judge, that y'all are as innocent as y'all been out here in the court of public opinion declaring that y'all are. And we're gonna be able to see just how far these pleas of innocence get y'all ass in the coming months. This is some wild shit, y'all. This is some wild ass shit.
Right?
Yes.
Right. And then what about the other one you told me about? It's so many, but what about the one you told me about where the people who rented the car and he called the police on him because he was on
Called
parole?
the probation officer, saying that they had, because he knew the guy was on probation. He called the probation officer saying that they had a gun in his house because he was a felony probation, in order to essentially avoid paying this guy back.
Right. So there are so many more stories that are going to be coming out, and I did not want. I'm going to let you guys know the truth is going to come out about this man. He's a con man, and I just wanted this first victim to come on. I did not want to keep it long because to be a victim with something is very difficult and very hard, and people use what happened to you for their own gain. And we have been talking. We met back in March, was it, this year?
Yeah, it's been a couple months. After I reached out to the New Yorker, when they put him as a businessman, I reached out to the New Yorker and let them know that this guy was a con artist and that they were actually like hurting future victims because he's trying to legitimize himself as a businessman by using the media. And they completely ignored it. They did not want to change their story. They completely ignored the fact that this guy was a con man.
Well.
Okay, so the victim is claiming that the New Yorker, which is that infamous article that had put Eric Adams and Bishop on blast, was not interested in hearing about Brandon Belmonte. But to the New Yorker's credit, the article wasn't focused on Brandon Belmonte. The focus and the intent of the write-up was to illustrate, contemplate, and to provide insight into the relationship and the dynamics of Eric Adams and Whitehead, bringing in Belmonte and his years worth of criminality against pedestrians isn't even something that one paragraph in an article can even really suffice. That is a whole story, a whole nother separate article in and of itself. So I'm pretty sure it's not that the New Yorker was disinterested in the sense of they didn't care, but it would have sidelined what the purpose of this particular write-up was about. And clearly the journalist and the author of the article wanted to maintain continuity as it relates to Eric Adams and Whitehead's relationship and not derail too far off from that, because going into all the Brandon Belmonte shit, baby, it would have been very easy to forget about everything the article was attempting to illustrate about Eric Adams and Whitehead.
Thing is this, me and the victims are going to continuously work together. Like I told you guys.
Hey, Linda. Welcome to all the new subbies. Hey, y'all.
I didn't know this guy. He was introduced to me, and my life got flipped upside down. My life got flipped upside down, and it's never the same. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to give the victims my platform, so therefore they can show the world who this guy.
If the victims were damn smart, they would understand how much of a terrible fucking idea that is. Why the fuck would y'all tell y'all story through the platform of another man who's going to have to fighting for his life and fighting against the same claims and allegations and the same actions that the man that scammed their ass is going to have to? That literally would make no fucking sense. It would actually take away from their stories. It would actually take away from their credibility, especially since they're already on top of that coming forward anonymously. That's already going to shortchange their testimony by itself, because to the country crew members' points in the chat, anybody can come forward and say any goddamn thing. For all we know, to some people's point, this woman could be Whitehead's new girlfriend. It could be a cousin. This could be a paid actress. This could be a fan helping out. In order to, so that's already a big L when anybody comes forward cloaked in mystery. Now, there's also good reasons for people to also protect their identity, etc., because online shit can lead to a lot of drama, doxing, harassment, etc. It's understandable, but at the same time, it also does bring in a lot of other questions, especially when you're going to be interviewing with somebody who is also public enemy number one. So literally between being a anonymous tipper and then interviewing with somebody who literally is being slammed by the feds for the same fucking shit the person that scammed y'all being slammed for, it just don't make no fucking sense. That's just not a bright idea. But I have come to understand that most people are not bright. So, I am really starting to understand that most people are in fact stupid. Okay? And most people are emotionally driven. They do things out of impulse. They don't think about things intelligently or strategically or intellectually. They just move from the premium gasoline of emotions. Just feelings and feelings and feelings is what they lead from. So I'm not surprised that several people who are already scammed are going to talk to another alleged scammer, according to the U.S. government, about being scammed by another damn scammer. If that makes sense to several motherfuckers in the world, God bless you, boo-boo.
Brandon Belmonte is. So he was charged on Friday with, I think, 2 or 3 charges. However, none of those charges have anything to do with all of the victims that I know. There is also another young man,
hey, Coach Leslie. Hey, Amy.
He lives in upstate New York, and he is an Orthodox Jew. And that's
another thing. He got into that community and scammed multiple of them. Yeah. After gaining their trust.
Yeah, he got into the Orthodox Jewish community and he scammed them. I've already spoke to 3 Jewish brothers. One, he stole.
Says the same person who just got kicked out of a building at a church. Shout out the glory of God. For trying to steal an entire fucking property right from underneath people's noses who were leasing the property. Threw these people shit out and all. This is what delusion sounds like. It sounds like a person talking about another person as if they're not the exact same person that has done and doing the exact same thing. And can do it while dead looking in your face without making any correlation between them and the situation or the person or people they speaking of. And won't miss a blink. It's a compartmentalization for me, girl.
$475,000 allegedly, as per what they told me. I believe it. $475,000 for one person, and he and I think he took 16 cars from them, and another Jewish guy over $200,000, and he took 8 cars from them. I just spoke to another person where he stole $875,000 from.
I just love I just love how he can detail and chronicle every bit, baby, of Brandon Belmonte's business, but literally can't talk about none of his. Refuse to talk about the status of his marriage to his spiritual wife with the emotional support, baby, after all these allegations of abuse came up. Refuse to talk about his own indictment, superseded indictments. He will literally tell the public, interviewers, etc., I can't talk about that. But baby, he know every single lick and drop of Brandon. Look at him, girl. Can't y'all just hear him go, girl? He ain't missing a beat, baby. He got Brandon Belmonte shit laid down, baby. Laid down to the ground, baby. He ain't missing a damn syllable on Brandon Belmonte's business. Baby, you would think he's sounding off about his damn autobiography. The way that he is just so clear about this man's business. So what that tells us is that Whitehead been studying this man for a long time, baby. It sounds like envy to me. It sounds like envy to me, Whitehead. You have been so fascinated by this Brandon Belmonte character because you probably just been admiring him from afar, like, ooh, just how successful he was at being on his bald-headed whole shit. All that he was able to make of himself, his lifestyle, his auto business. Is this why you pulled up on him to begin with? It's giving stalker at this point, Whitehead. This man hasn't even been in the public. And you got his shit laid, baby. You know where everybody at. You know where all the bodies at when it comes to Belmonte. I think that's very telling.
All calling me. I'm just letting you guys know they're all calling me. They're all inboxing me because they never had a voice. And once they saw what Brandon Belmonte has done to me and everybody's calling him a businessman, they was like, what? And that's how me and this young lady met. She said, what? Businessman? I mean, when she got in contact with me, she was so furious. She was so furious. And she just was like, how are they calling him a businessman and he's the con artist? And we see exactly what he done to you because he's done it to us. So you're going to see that this entire week, a plethora of victims that will be coming out, and I am giving them my platform. I'm not going to put them on Instagram. I'm not going to put them on Facebook. It's going to be just like this, a telephone call. So therefore, their identity will be protected, and their face will be protected. But what I want you guys to understand is that this man who set Bishop Whitehead up, Brandon Belmonte, who's just been arrested on Friday for federal charges, is a con man, and I want my life back, you know. And there's another gentleman that is partially a victim as well, because Brandon Belmonte was trying to get him, but he was on to him because he knew something wasn't right. He knew something wasn't right. So thank you. I'm not gonna call him out, but he's up here right now. I see him up here. And at the end of the day, I'm just asking everybody to research this Brandon Belmonte, because he has stolen from untold people. He's a liar. He's a con artist, and the crazy thing about it, he creates this narrative. He creates this movie, and before you know it, you're the star in the movie. You're the star, and you don't even know the star. And he starts to place you in the script of his movie, and you don't even know what's going on. And before you know it, your pockets is done, or you got a heavy indictment. So I want you guys, thank you so much for being on. And I'm going to bring her back on again, probably later on this week.
My God, today.
But, because she has been very, very helpful to me, and she's been really, really, I call her just consoling a lot of the victims. Consoling a lot of the victims. And I really appreciate her because she has given me hope, like I've given her hope. And I just want everybody to really start to look at this con man and see who he is. So thank you so much, and we'll talk in a few minutes.
All right, thank you for having me.
All right, bye. All right, y'all. So I'm gonna close out. We're gonna be doing this all week. We're gonna be doing this all week. I was gonna do a press conference, but my team said no, just do it on live and just get the.
How are you going to do a press conference about another man's indictment? Like, you're not a victim of Brandon Belmonte. You're not a lawyer. You're not a defense attorney. Why? Shout out. Now, the only right thing Brian Milk Dud Disbarred Ponda Jr. has advised his client Whitehead to do. The one thing he advised him to do that was actually correct, since working with Whitehead, has been telling him to sit his black ass down some damn well. How cringy, goofy, and embarrassing would it have been for Whitehead to throw a press conference about another man's indictment, and he's nor the victim or a goddamn attorney in the case. And he was going to literally pull together, as someone said in a comment, another prepaid press conference where he more than likely would have got dragged. Because just like the last press conference he had where them lawyers was asking him them real tough ass questions that made him abort the damn press conference and dismiss everybody asked to go home, girl, I'm sure those very intelligent journalists who would have been at the press conference would have utilized that space and time to ask him, what in the fuck does Brandon Belmonte's indictments have to do with all of yours, Big Daddy? Huh? Okay, and I'm sure that once Whitehead would have responded with, well, because he set me up and they really was after him, another one of those goddamn journalists would have read off Whitehead's indictment to get him to respond to any, mini, mighty, mo, and produce the correlation between Brandon Belmonte and you being down there to the Bank of America trying to get a $1 million loan off of a $10 saving account. Trying to make it make sense, baby. His ass would have got dragged and toe tagged by those goddamn reporters and journalists at this cringeworthy ass press conference, girl. Hot goddamn mess. I mean, just the thought of this press conference, I'm experiencing secondhand embarrassment for Whitehead. Just as a hypothetical, bitch, I'm embarrassed. Like, I'm already seeing it in my mind, and my body is cringing, girl. Everything is shrinking up, girl. Like, I'm already experiencing secondhand embarrassment just as a hypothetical of this man literally being this goofy to put together a press conference over another man's indictment as if it would not have opened him up to all of the scrutiny there is to be opened up to, as if it would not have completely put a whole spotlight on his own fucking superseded indictments and his coming trial in 2024 as girl.
The ball rolling, get the ball rolling, get the victims out so you guys can see there are multiple victims. I spoke to 7 myself. Maybe a little more, but I'm just going to be at the minimum. I already spoke to 7 victims of Brandon Belmonte, and the hurt and the pain that the pain that they're going through. And Brandon Belmonte chose the wrong person to do it to, Bishop Whitehead, and now he's going to be exposed. And ironically, as soon as he went on 105, he did an interview on 105 by using my name. 7 days later, he was federally indicted. And we need to shine a light on him because he's the one who started everything. And this whole debacle in my life. I wasn't being investigated. Everybody keep thinking, no, it was none of that. It was him.
He said it was none of that. But Bishop's delusional ass forgot that right before he filed a frivolous lawsuit against Brandon Belmonte that has gone nowhere. Brandon Belmonte hasn't even been served. That he was the very one telling us to go read the New Yorker article that was written up that included his chance encounter with Brandon Belmonte. And if you read the same article that Bishop told us all to go read, that chronicled his experience with Brandon Belmonte, that article spoke about a lot of motherfuckers putting the feds on to Whitehead as far back as 2016. Everyone from Brandon Belmonte had got the feds involved. Then Miss Gordon, who was some type of a live-in girlfriend of Whitehead, had contacted the feds, and she died of Carisha-19. And one of her last statements before she passed away was that the feds were going to get Whitehead, and that was an absolute. She had worked alongside the feds way before he met Brandon Belmonte. So he's being disingenuous when he is literally trying, and then he has completely forgotten that he has blamed why the feds on his ass on multiple people outside of Brandon Belmonte. Larry, Jives, Eric Adams. Now is once again back fixated on Belmonte. Sir, the Fed's been building a case against your ass for half a decade. Period. Period. They've been on your ass and on your case. They've been observing you. They've been alongside your lifestyle way before Larry came into the picture, way before Demario Jobs came into the picture, long before Brenda Belmonte came into the picture. And it doesn't matter at the end of the day whose name you say and how many times you say it. You are going to be fighting for your freedom in February of 2024 because of the things you allegedly did. Not the things that Brenda Belmonte allegedly said about you, not the things that Larry or Josh or Pauline Anderson or Miss Gordon or anybody allegedly said about you. You're going to be fighting for your freedom because of things you have fucking done. And to literally be out here in the court of public opinion, once again, as if it would make a difference what the fuck we were convinced of. It is not going to have any fucking impact on the defense you're going to have to provide in a federal system that actually has the authority to put your black ass away. It wouldn't matter if every motherfucker on social media from this point forward start declaring Bishop as innocent. It will not change the course of destiny. It will not render any impact as it relates to the outcome of these motherfucking superseded indictments. It wouldn't matter if every motherfucking blog, news station, every journalist, every commenter, every fan, every hater, all of a sudden had to come to Jesus. Caroline saw the motherfucking light and agreed that Bishop Whitehead is completely and utterly innocent, and this is indeed a witch hunt and a racial profiling, and that he's being targeted because he's a black man. Every last single one of us could unanimously agree to that, sound off of that, and guess what, bitch? You will still be fighting for your fucking freedom in February of 2024. And guess who ain't gonna be there to make a damn difference in your fate? None of the public will be, baby. Your victim's gonna hit that stand. You're gonna be battling it out with that bank and its administration. Exhibit A through goddamn Z is what you're gonna have to contend with. Auditing and audios and footages and etc. It's gonna be going down in February of 2024. It wouldn't matter if everybody became obsessed with Brenda Belmonte in place of obsessing over you and your drama that's going on. It does not change the fact that you have a very exclusive dinner and date, a very exclusive Netflix and chill with the federal government next year. So what is, there could be no other point to all of this campaigning and all of this defending of self in a court of public opinion aside from it once again providing some emotional relief, because this gets to be an emotional distraction from all the terror and fear that he has about what's coming next year. Him fighting with online blogs and the shade room and neighborhood talk and filing privilege laws, all this shit is to offer a distraction for him. It's a transference of energy. And then he tries to make these fairy tales real by filing the lawsuits to make it something objective so that it's easier to tell himself these lies so that he don't have to deal with the actuality of the way his life is actually going. There's no stopping what's coming. And I don't understand how Bishop got the time to focus on Brandon Belmonte, bitch. If I had trial coming up in months, bitch, all of my energy would be strategizing with my motherfucking lawyers, cleaning my motherfucking act up in the meantime, in between time, bitch, so that I have some type of space between the bullshit I got caught up in and the time I got to sit before a judge that can demonstrate my capacity to be upright, drama-free, to be a productive citizen of America. Girl, and I would be rehearsing my motherfucking defense for months on out, girl. And exploring every motherfucking avenue and every goddamn loophole in the law to make sure that my ass will be an out and proud American in 2024, pooching through and on vacation rather than washing some broad-shouldered, 7-foot-tall niggas' drawers for the next 30 years of my damn life. Bitch, it's about to be showtime at the fucking Apollo, Whitehead. Every day, bitch, you should be on Zoom calls, FaceTime with your damn lawyers, preparing to fight for your damn freedom. I wouldn't have a lick of fucking time for a damn Brandon Belmonte. Because whatever the fuck his fate is about to be ain't got a goddamn thing to do with what the fuck my fate is about to be. I need to be worried about bitch not ending up in a damn orange jumpsuit and in front of that dingy ass camera lens down there at the county jail with my new name tag. Who got time to be fighting their case in the court of public opinion? What in the fuck can any of us do for you as it relates to these real life charges your ass is facing? And the fact that his lawyers can't even get him to sit the fuck down and to shut the fuck up. Whitehead is out of control and in a state of utter damn chaos. And he actually believed talking about these damn people and putting up their victims and all of this and all of that is going to change anything that's going to happen with his ass next year. And the way that his case been going in criminal court, girl, I couldn't tell you how quiet as a fucking mouse I would have been out here on these streets. You know why? Because I would have had my ass in rehearsals with my damn boy. If he invested this much time, bitch, to actually straightening the fuck up and trying to make shit well, bitch, I would have already been on a payment plan with Miss Pauline Anderson. Bitch, I be down there helping old ladies bag their groceries up, girl. I be helping the goddamn city to repair raggedy ass roads, baby. It'll be so many goddamn selfies of me doing good works in the city, girl, by the time I got down there to the federal courthouse for trial, bitch. Girl, it would have been so many selfies of me breastfeeding newborn babies, bitch. It would have been so many motherfucking selfies, bitch. Of me down there to the sperm bank, girl, just helping those with fertility issues, girl. It would have been so much good works to show. But what he down there doing with his blockhead ass? Stalking and harassing Brandon Belmonte ass. As if that's gonna stop Big Dick Derek from bending his ass over at a 160-degree angle. And shoving the glory of God up his damn rectum. baby, I would have been on a goddamn 9 months fast, baby. I would have made Jesus 40 day and 40 night look like a damn overnight stay at Camp Crystal Lake, girl. 40 days, bitch. 140 day fast. Nobody wants to answer the phone. Hell, his level of stupidity and strategy had even pushed Unhinged away. Do you know how raggedy you gotta be, bitch, to push Unhinged away? Even Unhinged had to divorce Whitehead ass. Had to give up attending his goddamn his goddamn church, girl. Even she couldn't attend mugshots of tomorrow anymore, girl. Because just of the sheer stupidity. She even told his ass to sit the fuck down. She couldn't even understand, bitch, what, and she's a bit, and she in the same damn predicament her damn self. It just gonna show you that there are levels to stupidity. Even Unhinged had the bail. Whitehead is giving me Looney Tune vibes. And it's scary. Because how you come this far to be this dumb? I don't understand. I don't understand. I don't even understand how someone like this even got their license, got their permit to drive a motor vehicle. I don't understand. I don't understand. How is talking about Belmonte going to check? Let's hold on. Let's keep listening to this.
He started everything against Bishop Whitehead, and I don't know him. I don't know him. I had just met him, and we don't have no years of friendship. We don't even have months of friendship. I don't know this guy. And he created this narrative to try to take down a successful young black man and also the mayor of New York. And that's just what it is. So now we're going to I'm going to allow the victims. I'm going to allow all of the victims, everybody that wants my platform, that was a victim, and that can show me proof. Everybody that comes on this shows me proof. Okay? Everyone that comes on here shows me proof. Okay? Like she said, they got fake wires, they got fake checks of him saying that he gonna pay them. This guy is a con man. He's a con man. And just to clear this up, what she said was he does have video, and he showed video because he had a car rental company, and he would plant recording devices in the cars, in the luxury cars, to get people in trouble. That's what she was saying. So this guy he's terrible. He's terrible. He's a terrible individual. I just want my life back. And like I said, I just want the district attorney to reevaluate my case and understand who brought this to them and give me my life back. That's all I want. I want my life back. I want my life back. I want my life back. That's it. Okay? I don't deserve this, and I want my life back. Period, point blank. And y'all help me get my life back. Y'all share, and all you have to do is Google Brandon Belmonte. That's all you have to do. Google him, see who he is, see what he's done, and he's out there scamming people. And let me tell y'all something. The media has tried to destroy my name. Now, give me my name back, because now y'all seeing who created everything. And now you're seeing that he's the real con man, and he has destroyed people like me.
Brandon Belmonte's indictments don't even mention Whitehead. So how in the hell does
my life? I love you guys, the love of Jesus. I'll be back on. Y'all watch, hit the notification, follow me, so therefore you can get notified when I come back up. I have a few more. I just lost track of my thought. I have a few more victims. They might come on today, they might come on tomorrow, but all week, I will be having different victims come on just like this to tell you their story, so you can hear it from their mouth. from their mouth to your ears. Their mouth to your ears. I'm not talking about nothing about my case. My lawyers are dealing with that. However, to talk about the integrity of this man who set me up, I'm going to give my platform to it. Okay? And that's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to do. So if you have been a victim that you can show proof of Brandon Belmonte, inbox me. I need proof. I don't need nothing else but proof. I want proof. I want proof. And then we can have a conversation.
He's saying he want proof, but the anonymous woman he had on just now didn't provide anything but a damn narrative. Was there no paperwork shown? Was there no police report shown? There wasn't no proof that this car had been stolen, taken to an auto body shop, etc. Does it have insurance? So I can't.
Directly have a conversation with me. If somebody saying, please call me. No, if this is about him and you have proof, because I've gotten untold inboxes about this man and what he's done and what he's done to me, and he's tried to destroy me. Okay? If you have any proof.
He talking about Brandon Belmonte was trying to destroy him, but Brandon Belmonte, but he got indicted and arrested before Brandon Belmonte even spoke to the New Yorker. The New Yorker article came out this year. Whitehead was indicted last year. He didn't even have Brandon Belmonte's name in his mouth until the New Yorker article came out, and then he found a new source of blame. I pulled up the indictment here. Let's just read through this really quick. Okay, because we're trying to find the correlation. Hold on. My computer dying. My laptop dying. What's going on? Let me pull up. Let's read the indictment. Damian Williams, the United States Attorney for the Southern District of New York, and Michael J. Driscoll, Assistant Director in charge of the New York Field Office of the Federal Bureau of Investigation, announced today the unsealing of an indictment charging Lamar Whitehead with defrauding one of his parishioners out of part of her retirement savings, attempting to extort and defraud a businessman, and lying to the FBI. Now, which one of those circumstances and scenarios involves hearsay from Brandon Belmonte, or Larry Reed, or King Jives, or the neighborhood talk? Which one of those scenarios has anything to do with any of the people that he's blamed for why the feds got their foot on his goddamn neck? Whitehead was arrested this morning and will be presented in federal court today before United States Magistrate Judge Gabrielle W. Garriston. The case is assigned to the United States District Judge Lorna G. Schofield. U.S. Attorney Damian Williams said, as we allege today, Lamar Whitehead abused the trust placed in him by a parishioner, bullied a businessman for $5,000, then tried to defraud him of far more than that, and lied to federal agents. Okay, so what does Brandon Belmonte, Larry Reed, King Jives, Pauline Anderson, the Griot, the Trio, Mark Lamont Hill, Candace Owens, the Neighborhood Talk, the Shade Room, got to do with Lamar Whitehead allegedly lying to federal agents, bullying a businessman out of more than $5,000, and allegedly taking $90,000 from Pauline Anderson? His campaign of fraud and deceit stops now, says the agent. FBI Assistant Director Michael J. Driscoll said, quote, as we alleged today, Whitehead carried out several duplicitous schemes in order to receive funds from his victims. Now, where in that scenario is that based on the hearsay of Brandon Belmonte or any influencer or any blog site? These are all actions, right? Additionally, when speaking with authorities, Whitehead consciously, no pun intended, chose to mislead and lie to them. If you are willing to attempt to obtain funds through false promises or threats, the FBI will ensure that you are made to face the consequences for your keyword here, actions in our criminal justice system. What does Belmonte or any social media influencer have to do with him lying directly to the face of FBI agents? According to the indictment unsealed today in the Manhattan Federal Court and publicly available information, Lamar Whitehead, who leads a church in Brooklyn, New York, has engaged in a course of conduct in which he sought money and other things of value from victims on the basis of either threats or false promises that the victims' investments would benefit the victims financially. Where is Belmonte or any social media influencer or any online blog site involved in any of these alleged actions of Whitehead? First, Whitehead induced one of his parishioners to invest approximately $90,000 of her retirement with him, but instead spent the investment on luxury goods and other personable purposes. What part of that behavior and action has to do with hearsay from an online influencer or Brandon Belmonte or a blog site? Second, Whitehead extorted a businessman for $5,000, then attempted to convince the same businessman to lend him $500,000 and give him a stake in certain real estate transactions in return for favorable actions from the New York City government, which Whitehead knew he could not obtain. What about that has to do with pure hearsay from Brandon Belmonte or any online influencer or any online blogs? In addition, when speaking with FBI agents who were executing a search warrant, Whitehead falsely claimed that he had no cell phones other than the phone he was carrying, when in fact Whitehead owned a second phone, which he regularly used to communicate, including to send a text message describing it as, quote, my other phone, shortly after telling the agents he had no other phones. What about these actions have to do with hearsay from Brandon Belmonte, any online influencer, or any blog site? Whitehead, 45 years of age, in Paramus, New Jersey, is charged with 2 counts of wire fraud, each of which carries a maximum sentence of 20 fucking years in prison. 1 count of extortion, which carries a maximum sentence of 20 years in prison, and 1 count of making material false statements, which carries a maximum sentence of 5 years in prison. The maximum potential sentencing are prescribed by Congress and are provided here for informational purposes only, as any sentencing of the defendant will be determined by the judge. Mr. Williams praised the outstanding work of the FBI. The prosecution of this case is being handled by the office's Public Corruption Unit. Assistant U.S. Attorneys Hagen Scotton, Cecilia V. Cohen, and Andrew Roback are in charge of the prosecution. The charges contained in the indictment are merely accusations, and the defendant is presumed innocent unless and until proven guilty. And this ain't even the superseded indictment involving the bank fraud, baby. But I just wanted to course through that because we're just trying to figure out what in the fuck does Brandon Belmonte or any online blogger or any blog site have to do with all this fraudulent activity, all this intimidating and coercing and blackmailing that he is being accused of. His actions are why he'll be fighting for his anal virginity in 2024. Not hearsay, not he say, not narratives produced by Brandon Belmonte or anybody else. Nobody set him up but his own behavior. And it's just a play off of the innocence, which a lot of scammers do think that they are the smartest crayon in the book. And guess what? Scammer strengths, right, are in their narratives. They have to have the gift of gab and convincibility and they have to be good at narratives, because once again, scamming is mostly psychological warfare on your victim, right? So he doesn't realize that his obsession in narratives actually speaks more to his alleged conduct. Because narratives are scammers' superpowers. They have to be good at this, even though he's obviously terrible at it, which is why he has a criminal arrest record as long as Kaya's two front teeth. But this obsession over narratives, deflection, all of that is a part of the scamming nature. Smoke and mirrors, veils, moving the goalposts, keeping you lost. That's all a part of the exploitation and the manipulation of it all. Oh yeah, and the day is coming next year. They already got a date, baby. February 2024. It's on. He'll have his day in court. He's mad because he got caught up. He's manipulative. I think he may have lost that the first go round CTV. Very well possible, Kiwana. Now that part is Belmonte. Baby, it's a mess, y'all. This is a mess. Hey Mo. Hey Rajon. Hey Parlis. Hey Joyce. Hey y'all. So I just wanted to come and bring y'all that, girl. It's about to be hot out here. I'm gonna be keeping y'all updated, girl, on what's gonna be going on. We're gonna be following Brandon Belmonte's case, girl. Once again, he's just a mayonnaise version of Whitehead, and y'all know we're gonna continue to keep an eye out on Whitehead, girl. Okay, August is court day for Miss Belmonte, so we will be coming back, girl. I'm gonna see if I can find his mugshots and shit too. I don't know if he's still arrested, if he's still down there, girl, if he's gonna be locked up until I forgot what I read. I forgot if he already done posted bail or made, or if his bond has been revoked. And if he gotta sit down there until August, girl. I know Belmonte is shitting bricks right now. And he must be so embarrassed, considering that his interview just dropped, girl, and then Bloop, you arrested, bitch, after doing all that braggadocian, girl. Yes, YouTube is acting up bad, you guys. The notifications, all that, girl. They doing something, girl. So we need everybody to thumbs up, baby. If you are part of the Replay Gang, or you are a Bush baby, or whatever the case may be, honey, please thumbs up beforehand. And if you didn't do it coming in, please thumbs up on your way out. I love you guys. Tell me what you guys think, girl. Once again, we'll continue to keep our eye out on the shenanigans of it all, baby. The bishop is dead ass serious about convincing us of his innocence, because apparently we have the authority, girl, to make him a free man. Apparently, girl. Okay. Apparently, girl, we are the ones, girl, who have the gavel and have the authority and the jurisdiction, honey. Okay, and the powers necessary to make sure that he's a free man, honey. Okay? Apparently we are the actual judges, girl, because Whitehead is fighting for his life, girl. You got to give him that, bitch. In the court of public opinion, baby, Whitehead is fighting for his goddamn life. He fighting for his life, girl. He windmilling down to the ground, bitch. Y'all got to give it to him, girl. You got to give it to the man, girl. He is putting up one hell of a desperate motherfucking fight, girl, of immense proportions, baby. Okay? And he ain't got no shame about it, baby. As cringy and goofy and embarrassing as it is to observe, baby, he ain't got a single lick of shame about trying his case in the court of public opinion, baby. I can't wait till the rude awakening his ass gonna get, baby, when the actual judge delivers the motherfucking verdict of all verdicts, honey. Okay? I'll see you all later. We got a hot topics coming tomorrow, honey. We got a lot of things to get into. I'm going to set the watch page probably tonight. If not, it'll be first thing in the morning. I'll also be in Patreon tomorrow, girl. First Patreon of the month, girl. It's going to be a Patreon live per week for sure. We also got to wrap up on Bad Boys Season 2, which has concluded, girl. And it's a lot of drama going on around Bad Boys that we're going to get into. That'll all be going on in Patreon as well. So I'll be posting the links. I'll be making sure that you guys get notified so folks can be in the building. And I love you all. All donation information, email, social medias, and all of that is in the description box below. I love you all. Have a great night. Bye.